Now, it's no secret that people have been calling for a housing market crash since we had the last one in 2008. Since previous to the 2020 situation that we had, 2008 was the last time that the stock market crashed, but the housing market crashed as well. Now, let's face it, home affordability has been declining over the past few years, and as of right now, it's near record lows. And I believe that's why people see a housing market crash as their way of getting into the market. In the past 10 years, there has been 8.5 million single family houses that have been built, while there has been 15.6 million households that have been created, which means that in the past decade, we're short 7.1 million houses for the amount of households that have been generated. This means that housing is becoming more scarce, causing house prices to go up because there's just not enough stock to go around. And you can really see this by looking at the average home price over the past 61 years. For example, in 1961, the average house cost $19,300, while that same house today is going to cost $492,300. While the average salary has increased from $5,700 a year to $68,124 a year over that same time. That means that the average home used to cost 3.38 times the average salary, whereas today the average home costs 7.22 times the average salary. Before we continue, we have a quick message from our sponsor. If you didn't know, we're 21 subscribers away from our goal of hitting 100 subscribers, and with just 2 seconds of your time, you can put us one step closer to that goal. And if you're feeling really generous, you can hit the like button while you're there. All right, so let's get back into it. We're going to run through the scenario of buying a home in 1961 versus buying the average home today in 2024, both using 7% interest rates. In 1961, if you were to buy the average home, it would cost $19,300, and if you put 20% down, your monthly payment would be $103 a month. And if you made the average income of $5,700 a year, this would be only 15% of your pre-tax monthly income. Whereas if you bought that same home in 2024 for $492,300, you're going to be paying $26.20 a month instead. That payment is going to be 46% of your pre-tax monthly income, and most lenders are not willing to lend on that, because that doesn't include anything else, such as your car payment, your phone bill, groceries, utilities, everything else. However, even with house prices being at historically low affordability levels, I don't foresee a crash in the housing market happening anytime soon, for both of the reasons that I mentioned before, where construction costs are going up and we have a housing shortage currently. However, I'm going to give you a plan of what I would do to find something even in today's market. Firstly, I would consider secondary and tertiary markets, especially with the fact that a lot of people are able to work from home now. It makes it easier to live in these cities that are maybe 45 minutes out of the main city around where you live, and you're not going to be having to do the commutes all the time, so it's not as big of a deal as it used to be to live in these secondary and tertiary markets where you can find houses that are substantially cheaper than in the main market. Second, find a fixer-upper. It's definitely going to take more work than you anticipate, and you're going to have to do some manual labor to get it up to the point where you want it to be, but it's cheaper than going out and buying a house that's already completely finished. As somebody that just finished renovations on their own house, I can tell you that this is going to be a lot more work than you expect, but it's worth it in the long run because I got to pay a lot less for a property that should appraise for a lot more now that those renovations are completed. Don't be afraid to look off market. Use some of the strategies that real estate investors use to pick up houses, because you can pay more than they can because they have to make it make sense as a rental. You just have to make it make sense as a place for you to live, so you can pay even more than they're willing to and still get a fantastic deal on a single family house. Let me know in the comments down below what your experience has been if you bought a house in 2023 or if you're going to be buying a house in 2024.